Warning, accessing Friday show. Accessing Friday show film archive. Accessing Friday show music video archive. Accessing Friday show review archive.
And for my number one, I would say something.
Welcome to the AM Friday show, sir.
Hello, welcome back to This or That, where we ask this or that. And I've been a little busy. PC3 feud ended not too long ago. You can still go and watch that. We got the PC3 radio going on. Check that out, linked on our social media. You know, I wanted to take a rest. We've got, a couple weeks left of school. Return to my roots of this or that. So stay tuned, because we're going to go ask some fun questions. Vanilla or chocolate ice cream?
This?
Chocolate.
Chocolate.
Chocolate. Chocolate.
Vanilla.
Chocolate.
Chocolate all the way.
Chocolate.
I have to say vanilla, but I gotta put a bunch of stuff on top of it. It's gotta have sprinkles and chocolate syrup and it's gotta have all the fixins.
Vanilla ice cream.
Cats or dogs?
Ooh, I love cats and dogs, but I will say dogs.
I am a cat person. Big time cat person.
Dogs.
I have to say a dog person.
Cats.
I used to be a dog person, and then I worked at an animal shelter for 11 years, and now I'm very much a cat person.
I'm thinking dogs.
Woof.
And would you rather watch a movie or a TV show?
TV show.
Movies.
And what is your favorite movie?
Across the Spider-Verse.
Movies.
And what is your favorite movie?
Lord of the Rings.
I say a TV show, because then you can just sit and watch as much as you want.
And what is your favorite TV show?
Oh. Right now it's Gilmore Girls.
A movie.
And what's your favorite movie?
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Movie or TV show?
Pretty Woman.
That's a movie. So movie.
Movies.
And what is your favorite movie?
Knives Out.
That was This or That. And I prefer vanilla ice cream mostly because I don't like chocolate. People think I'm insane for that, but regardless, thanks for watching This or That. Comment down below if you have any questions that you would like to see be asked. We got one more show, which means one more This or That. I was Lana Cantu. Have an awesome stellar fruit salad day.
How's it going, everyone, and welcome to my recap of the last few games of the March Madness tournament. These last 2 weeks of must-watch college basketball have been amazing, and it all comes down to these last 3 games. These include the 2 Final Four games from both sides of the bracket, along with the big one, the final. The teams in the Final Four are the UConn Huskies, the Alabama Crimson Tide, the Purdue Boilermakers, and the NC State Wolfpack. The first game up was NC State versus Purdue. NC State was the obvious underdog in this game. They wouldn't even have made it into the tournament if they didn't win the ACC tournament, and they were here in the Final Four. Led by their charismatic big man DJ Burns and their sharpshooting guard DJ Horn, they came in as the hottest team in the country, but they had no easy task ahead of them. Purdue, led by back-to-back National Player of the Year Zach Edey and All-American guard Braden Smith, were out for blood. Although the game started out as a close battle, Purdue was just too much for the Wolfpack, and they moved on to the finals with a score of 63-50. The second Final Four game was between Alabama and UConn. UConn has been living up to their number 1 overall seed title. Winning every game by double digits going back to the beginning of last year's tournament, they have been dominant to say the least. Led by crafty big man Donovan Clingan and Tristan Newton, the Huskies have a roster filled with NBA talent. Alabama was not going to back down without a fight, however. With Mark Sears leading the Tide, Alabama was ready for the upset of a lifetime. That is, however, not how it turned out. UConn made easy work of the Tide by beating them 86-72. And then there were 2. The battle of the 2 best teams in the tournament, Purdue and UConn. The hype was immediately drawn to the 2 centers. Neither player had gone against someone who was that big, so fans were intrigued for how it was going to end up. Zach Edey started the game being absolutely dominant. When his team got him the ball in the paint, he could not miss for the first 10 minutes. When he came back down to earth, that is when the Huskies took over and never backed down. They went on to win 75-60, winning back-to-back titles for the first time since Florida did it in the 2006 season. Although they did not win, Edey had an amazing game with 37 points, 10 rebounds, and 2 blocks. On the other side, Tristan Newton had 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 7 assists, and went on to win Most Valuable Final Four player. That'll do it for me. Thank you so much for watching, and have an amazing day.
Since the year 2000, geocaching has been a popular activity for many young people throughout the world. What is geocaching, you may ask? Geocaching is an outdoor activity in which participants use a GPS receiver or mobile device and other navigation technologies to hide and seek coordinates called geocaches or caches at certain locations marked by coordinates. All over the world, as of 2023, there are over 3 million active caches worldwide. Geocaching began on May 3rd, 2000s, when the founder Dave Umar used a computer to hide a bucket in orange and put the GPS coordinates on the internet. The bucket was found by 2 others, and the concept of geocaching was born. Earlier this year, me and my friends started geocaching for the first time, and we have enjoyed geocaching since we started. Recently, we spent some time in Portage looking for different objects and managed to find 2 of them. Let's take a deep dive into our journey of geocaching. First object we found was a birdhouse, which was out in the woods off a bike trail sitting in a tree. This one was a fun discovery because it was out in the open, and the first time we have found the clue and an object in a birdhouse. We've never seen one of those, so we had real fun finding this one. Kept going down the bike trail to find more geocaches. After going through several thorns, we were able to find the next object on our geocache journey, which was a little castle with a pony and a pebble and a paper to sign, showing that your group made the discovery. And we found 2 out of the 4 objects we sought out after to discover today. I would say we had a successful journey geocaching in Portage. Hopefully our discoveries will inspire some of you to try this fun activity. Signing off from PC3, I'm Harley. Have a wonderful day.
Havoc Skate Shop is located in 901 Calumet Avenue, Valparaiso, Indiana 46383. This skate shop is a very unique and awesome skate shop. The vibes in the skate shop are unmatched. The owner is very, very nice, and it sells everything that a newcomer or a veteran might need for skateboarding. They sell helmets, they sell skateboards, wheels, axles, stickers. You could even make your skateboard very clean by putting stickers on it, The decks there are clean. Just everything about the shop is clean. Go check out Havoc Skate Shop. It is a very awesome location with very awesome people.
My name is Ty Walker, and I'm the owner and founder of Havoc Skate Shop. I really liked skateboarding when I was younger, and I gave it up. And I feel like when I was a teenager, there wasn't a lot of support back then, and so I had the opportunity to change my career path, and I had recently gotten back into skateboarding as, 30-something-year-old man, so I just felt like, I wanted to be what I felt I was lacking.
The owner, Ty, opened his vision to help younger skaters find their passion and the materials they need to succeed.
Just the passion behind it, just the, trying to have a good vibe, trying to just being like, hey, what are you looking for? What are you needing? And kind of steering towards, what kids are wanting and what needing, essentially.
While Ty had many options for names, Havoc came about in a natural way.
So when I was 12 years old, I had a friend of mine that introduced me to skateboarding, and he also introduced me to my favorite band since I was 12. The band is AFI, and the name Havoc comes from the last name of the lead singer of that band.
Customers can expect many things that Havoc Skate Shop will provide in the coming months.
I probably look forward to working with local artists, local skaters, to build a brand that supports their passions, their skills, creating new, new decks, new apparel, and really letting kids in the area shine.
Be sure to visit Havoc Skate Shop for all your skating needs. Their website is Havoc NWI.
Game Corner. Hello all you beautiful people. I know that most of my videos are game reviews where I play and rate different games that I find interesting or that are trending, but around 2 weeks ago I decided that I want to try and create my first video game. So I've spent the last 10-ish days learning Blender, scripting and planning, and talking to voice actors online. So now I'm going to show you what that process has been like. Alright, so I started off the same way that all Blender noobs begin, a donut. I watched the Blender guru create a donut for probably over an hour while I followed along, wide-eyed and stupid-faced. I got about halfway through this before I decided, I'm super cool and smart and lovable. I could totally sculpt a face on my second day ever learning Blender. So I pulled up another tutorial and... Now, the game that I plan on making takes a lot of inspiration from Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord in terms of grand strategy and large-scale war. In terms of combat, I plan on doing a mix of M&B and Dark Souls. Time to do some studying. In between all of this Blender nonsense, I decided that I should probably actually, plan a game so I could actually have a game to work towards. So I spent like 10 hours in school writing 20 pages of a doc and 10 Google Sheets before realizing that this might actually be kind of difficult. That's when I realized that I needed the characters to have some voices, obviously. So I went on freelancer.com, voices.com, voice123, and posted ads for my project, and I actually found some really great samples from some really cool people. I did all of that without realizing that I'm not going to have anything playable for a very, very long time. So now I've got some really cool people on the back end waiting for the project to actually become anywhere near done. While I was in that process, I decided that I should actually retry a face sculpt since, it's kind of necessary for this kind of game. Yeah, here's how that turned out. As of now, that's pretty much all that I've got done. If you'd like to keep up with my devlogs, I'll either be streaming or posting updates monthly as I work through my dream project. Thanks for watching, I hope you have a wonderful day and enjoy the other segments.
What's up, PC3? I'm Andres Guzman, and if you're a fan of mixed martial arts, you know that UFC 300 is taking place this weekend, and I'm here to talk about some of the biggest names that are going to be part of this huge card. I'm talking Cody Garbrandt, Aljamain Sterling, Bo Nickel, Charles Oliveira, Max Holloway, and many more. It's the biggest card ever put on by the UFC, and the wait is finally over. Now let's break down the big fights. First up, let's dive into Cody Garbrandt versus Davison Figueiredo. While this fight is an early prelim, meaning it takes place before the main pay-per-view card begins, it should still be exciting with these two big names. I am a big fan of Garbrandt. He is a veteran fighter that I enjoy watching because of his amazing boxing skills. Meanwhile, Davison is a great fighter who can also dominate on the ground and has great jiu-jitsu skills. This should be a great scrap, but look for Cody to pull out the win. Speaking of prelims, we can't forget about the fight between Jim Miller and Bobby Green. Miller is the only fighter to appear on UFC 100, 200, and 300, but Green is a tough opponent. I don't think Miller comes out on top, but still, this is an awesome cherry for his storied career. Another big prelim fight that everyone is looking forward to is the UFC debut of former Olympic medalist Kayla Harrison, who will be taking on the one and only Holly Holm. This is a pretty big way for Kayla to start off her UFC career, and everyone will be tuning in to see if she can handle the bright lights of the UFC. Holly is known for knockout kicks, but if Kayla can get this to the ground, that may be enough to pull out the victory. Now, let's move on to the main card and the lightweight bout for the BMF belt between Justin Gaethje and Max Holloway. If you don't know what BMF stands for, unfortunately, I can't speak on it, PC3. But let's just say these are two tough fighters about to go to war. I think this is going to be one of the most exciting fights of the night. They are both great fighters, and with both of them being amazing strikers, it'll pretty much be a brawl between the two of them in the octagon. Both have great striking abilities, but ultimately, it will depend on who becomes the aggressor. Personally, I cannot wait to see how this fight turns out. It is a true toss-up. Last but not least, let's talk about the main event. Jamal Hill versus Alex Pereira in a battle for the light heavyweight title. This is truly going to be one of the biggest fights of the night, and it could be one of the most exciting fights in UFC history. Hill seems super confident on taking that belt from Pereira, saying, "I will knock him out," and also saying that he's the champ already. Hill has been on a great run lately, but you also have to think about Alex Pereira is one of the best in the UFC right now. His striking and his reach is pretty impressive, and there's a reason he's the champ. This is one you cannot miss, but ultimately, I think Pereira will emerge victorious. If you're a fight fan or are thinking about watching a UFC card for the first time, you don't want to miss UFC 300, taking place this Saturday at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. The prelims can be seen at 7 p.m. on ESPN, followed by the main card at 9 on pay-per-view. Don't miss out on the historic night. Signing off from PC3, I'm Andres Guzman. We'll see you at the fights.
Hey everyone, I'm Mark Hornbecker, and the Major League Baseball season is now in full swing. I'm here to bring you your season preview. Today, we'll be talking about some teams that are coming in hot and some teams that are starting off slow. In addition, I've got some good games that you should look out for, and we'll be chatting with some MLB fans around Porter County to see how they feel about opening week. Now, let's get right into our hot teams. The first hot team that we'll be looking at is the infamous New York Yankees. With additions of Juan Soto and Alex Verdugo, the Bronx Bombers are on a roll after sweeping the Astros in a 4-game series and winning their last series against the defending NL champion Diamondbacks, 2-1. The Yankees may be hot right now, so let's see if that continues to roll. Next up on our hot list is the Detroit Tigers. As of this recording, the Tigers are 4-0, and to me, the most surprising team on this list. The Tigers swept the White Sox in a 3-game series and have also taken out the Mets. How long can the Tigers remain undefeated? Let's see what our own Liam Schott has to say about the Tigers' hot start.
Okay. Who am I here with?
Liam Schott.
And today, I'm going to be interviewing you about the Detroit Tigers' hot start. What are your thoughts on this?
They are actually off to a very hot start. So far, they are undefeated, beating the White Sox and the Mets. I'm very impressed because the season last year, they didn't do very good.
And last question, how long do you think they're going to stay undefeated for?
I think they're probably going to stay undefeated for a while. I think this hot streak is not over for them, and I hope they go a long way. I love to see the underdogs, prosper. It'll be cool.
All right, thank you.
Running up the hot list next is the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Pirates are looking good after sweeping the Miami Marlins and splitting 2 games with the Washington Nationals. Center fielder Michael Taylor and catcher Joey Bart have led the Pirates in hitting and slugging percentage. We'll see if anyone can cool them off. Finally, the LA Dodgers are once again the team to watch this year, after their huge offseason signing of Ohtani and the powerhouse lineup they have. The Dodgers split their early series against the San Diego Padres, and then they went to beat the Cardinals in a 4-game series, 3-1. Now, as of press time, they are 1 game closer to getting complete sweep on the Giants. The Dodgers are once again looking to be number 1 team in the National League. If they stay healthy, there is no reason they shouldn't be. Now, let's move on to the cold teams. And by cold, I mean ice cold. Let's start off with the New York Mets. The Mets are struggling with 6 losses on their resume, but they are also struggling to find runs. In 3 out of their last 4 games, they have been held to 1 run or less, which is pretty tough for a team of pro players. We'll see if they can get it together in a tough division. Next up is the Colorado Rockies. The Rockies haven't been looking good on the scoreboard, especially defensively. Both the Chicago Cubs and the Diamondbacks put up double digits on them, and their pitching has really struggled. They look to start a fresh new series against the Rays in hopes to get their season on the right track. Another team in the freezer on our cold list is the Miami Marlins. It truly seems as if the Marlins can't find a win this season. They were swept in both of their series to begin the season, and as of this recording, they have 1 victory. Finally, you might want to turn away from the TV now, Sox fans, because your beloved team is off to a brutal start. With just 1 extra inning win against the Braves and a struggling offense, the White Sox seem to be stuck in the depths of the American League, and it doesn't look like they'll crawl out anytime soon. Here's some disgruntled Sox fans with their thoughts.
All right, who am I here with today?
Adam.
And today we're going to be talking about the White Sox ice cold start. I know that's your team. What are your thoughts on that?
It's just embarrassing. It's not even like I don't look forward to them anymore. I've already given up on them. It's bad.
And what do you think the White Sox need to do to turn their season around?
I mean, honestly, our players just keep getting injured. So I feel like we need to figure something out where our players don't get injured, like whether it's coaching or like something in facilities or training to not get injured, because our best players keep getting injured, and we're just not going to keep winning games if we keep getting our best players injured.
All right, thank you.
Before we wrap up, be sure to catch the upcoming series between the Dodgers and the Cubs, as well as the Baltimore Orioles and the Pittsburgh Pirates. If you're a baseball fan, those should definitely be on your viewing agenda. Remember, we're only in April, and there's a lot of ball left to be played. We'll check back in before the end of the school year if any of these teams are still hot or have chipped away at the ice. Signing off from PC3, I'm Mark Kallenbecker.
It attached itself to her roommate. I had a randomly assigned roommate in college who was a very sweet, religious girl. She kept to herself mostly, but she was always really kind and polite. This was the first year I didn't seem to have like some total rude, crazy roommate, so I was excited to get along with her. We were getting along great, and it seemed to me as though this was finally going to be the time that I had maybe even a good friend for a roommate. Well, that is until about 2 nights after we get moved in. I wake up to hear someone sobbing softly outside my bedroom door. It was a really weird sound. This kind of desperate, creaky sobbing. And I was so scared. At first, because it sounded like the crap you hear in horror movies. I heard someone moving around the apartment and occasionally coming back to my door, scratching on it softly. So I finally summoned the courage to peek out my bedroom door. My roommate was just walking around the apartment, crying. She was sleepwalking apparently, because her eyes were closed. But when I opened the door, her head turned to look right at me. Then she slowly went to the kitchen table, picked up a pencil, and started to scrawl this weird symbol on her door. It looked like a circle with a triangle in it. I asked her if she was okay, and she just stood there, swaying and crying. I was terrified, so I went back into my room and locked the door. The next morning, she was really mad at me because this symbol had appeared on her door, and she thought I had done it to prank her. She didn't believe me when I told her I was the one who did it, but she ultimately just told me not to do it again, and we dropped it. Several times throughout the year, I'd wake up in the middle of the night to her in the kitchen, talking to herself. every time she would come and scratch softly at my door, and every morning there would be another symbol on her door. She was still convinced that it was me, and I considered filming her, but honestly, I was really scared of opening the door because I didn't want to see what she was doing. One time, we were in our separate dorm rooms when there was a huge bang from the bathroom. There was obviously no one else in the dorm, so we were both really freaked out, but we decided to investigate. We looked everywhere, and nothing had fallen down, and there were no windows or other doors to the bathroom other than the one leading to our living room. We pulled back the shower curtain, and there was a huge arc of blood on the wall. She went pale, but had no explanation for this. Later that night, while I was studying in total silence, she rushed into my room and demanded to know what I said. I asked her what she was talking about, and she said she was in the bathroom and heard me talking to her, like I was whispering something through the wall. After that, whenever she was gone for the weekend, I always heard weird noises coming from her side of the dorm suite in the middle of the night. I don't know what the hell was happening, and I don't want to know. I finally moved out because I'd had enough. I was terrified every night, and I couldn't live like this. I just pray that whatever was wrong with that girl, that she figured it out, because it was absolutely terrifying.
I think we did a pretty good job so far.
Hello, I'm Connor Bray, and this is Media Wipe, my brand new show where we cover all different types of lost media. It's springtime here in Tornado Alley, and with spring comes tornadoes. Tornadoes come in many different forms, and here in Northwest Indiana, many people have their opinions on these natural disasters. Have you ever experienced a tornado before?
Yes and no. I've been near one, never been sucked up by one.
So I used to live in Tornado Alley in Kansas, just in a small town called Hutchinson, just outside of Wichita. Tornado warnings and tornadoes were consistent. So yes, we had in-school preparation that we had to do almost every month, that watching video, what we were going to do, plans, etc. So yes, have I actually seen one? No, but that's what they told me anyway.
What do you think about tornadoes?
I think they're really interesting, like with the wind and all that. I would like to at least see what it looks like in person. I think a tornado looks pretty cool, but obviously from a safe distance. But yeah.
I've never really experienced one, so I don't really know the fear of being in one because I've never really been in one.
These twisting masses of destruction storm through the countryside, often without much warning, and always without mercy. Every year, tornadoes claim around 80 lives and cause billions in property damage. So I caution you, if the wind is blowing and the sky is a sickly green color, get out of the area. You know, tornadoes are kind of like lost media in the sense that both are created and disappear very quickly. Speaking of media, let's dive into 3 different cases of lost media related to tornadoes and other similar disasters. We'll start off on the lighter side of things, and progressively get darker as we go on. Our first entry on this list is honestly kind of funny. For those unaware, I Love Bees was an alternate reality game, or ARG, created to hype up Halo 2. As part of said ARG, 220 axons were needed to be activated in order to complete the game. An axon, in this case, is a set of coordinates that led to a payphone, in which someone would call in and answer a specific lore-related question. The reason that I bring this up is that during the events of the ARG, Hurricane Ivan began to devastate the Caribbean and the southeastern United States. Despite the chaos of the storm, a dedicated fan managed to reach an axon in the middle of the storm and call in. From the testimony of Puppet Master 2, the person answering this particular axon, it is said that in the call you can hear the rain and wind blowing in the background on the fan's end. This would result in the only instance of an operator breaking character throughout the entire ARG and telling the guy, "Dude, it's a hurricane, put the phone down." Despite this humorous exchange, the original audio of the call has been lost due to the fact that it was likely not recorded because of the sheer amount of calls to activate axons. But hopefully, there is a chance that some Bungie employee has it stored away somewhere in a private archive. From waterspouts to dust devils to stovepipes, tornadoes vary greatly from each other. However, there is no tornado type more feared than the dead man walking. Legend has it that if you see a man in the tornado, you're about to die. These dead man walking tornadoes are multi-vortex tornadoes that move in a congruent line, simulating a pair of legs walking across the devastated countryside. Now that you have a little context behind these tornadoes, let's get into the 1997 Gerald dead man walking incident. The 1997 Gerald tornado was an F5 tornado that ripped through the small town of Gerald, Texas on the 27th of May, 1997. Despite the tornado only lasting a mere 13 minutes, the tornado destroyed approximately 10% of the homes in Gerald, equating to a little over $40 million. Unfortunately, homes weren't the only things that this tornado whisked away. The F5 left 12 injured and another 27 dead in its wake, making it the most deadly tornado of 1997 and the 10th deadliest in Texas history. However, despite many images being online courtesy of Scott Beckwith, there is no footage of the point where the tornado became a dead man walking. Many home videos were taken during the tornado, as you can see here. However, in my opinion, it's only a matter of time before somebody comes forward with the footage to point out where the hellish whirlwind began to walk. Some people out there in the world are so passionate about the art of tornadoes and similar storms that they dedicate their lives to chasing and capturing them for the world to see. Called storm chasers, these people put their lives on the line to capture footage and research storms, and for that they will always have my respect. However, sometimes the art of storm chasing leads avid adventurers to their doom. This is unfortunately the case with the TwistX team, consisting of storm chaser Tim Samaras, his son and photographer Paul Samaras, and Carl Young. TwistX was a popular storm chasing group, gaining popularity through the show Storm Chasers, which aired on the Discovery Channel from 2007 to 2011. May 31st of 2013, the three set out to capture and research what would be eventually known as the El Reno tornado. For those unaware, the El Reno tornado touched down at 6:03 p.m. on May 31st of 2013. and lasted for a future 40 minutes. This EF3 is well known for being the widest tornado in recorded history, being 2.6 miles at its peak. By the time the tornado met its end, it had left $30 million worth of damage in its wake, consisting of 29 buildings and 40 vehicles. However, damage wasn't only monetary here. 151 people were injured by the tornado's violent path, and sadly, another 8 lay dead. Now that you have some background information, let's return to our TwistX team. During the El Reno tornado, TwistX was joined by a few other storm chasers, and they set out to research the tornado. The man in front of the TwistX team went by the name of Dan Robinson, and he barely avoided being taken by the powerful tornado when he attempted to photograph it. Footage of this, captured by his dash cam, can be found on YouTube. However, this dash cam also ended up catching the moment that the El Reno tornado pounced upon the TwistX team and flung them to their deaths. Out of respect for the fallen storm chasers and their families, Dan has chosen not to show the footage publicly. This is one of the only times you'll ever hear me say this, but I hope this footage stays lost, for the sake of the families of the deceased and out of respect for the trailblazers that TwistX were. I believe after hearing all of these events, we can agree that Mother Nature is a force that cannot be messed with. She cannot be controlled, nor can she be predicted. With that being said, stay safe everyone, especially during this storm season. This has been Media Wipe, and thank you for watching.
What's good, y'all? Wavy Kaden back again, you feel me? And today, I'm gonna be going into the play-in since the playoffs is finna start soon. And I'm gonna be focusing on my home team Chicago Bulls. Like, you know, it was pretty rough, but we got DeMar, Zach LaVine, Lonzo, who should hopefully be coming back. Hopefully Lonzo comes back. And more, Vucevic, Andre Drummond, and more. And lately, in our last 10 games, DeMar DeRozan been dropping like 30. So it's really nothing bad on his part that I can say, because he been dropping 27 to 31 points pretty much every game, and we've been losing 7 out of those 10 games, which is not that good, especially since the playoffs is still coming up. You know, I have to lock in for that. And you know, it's been pretty rough in a recent game. Against the Knicks, it was a weird play. You know, I feel like just small mishaps, which is really like, you know, but people can still change and turn everything around when it's time. So in this play-in, the Bulls are playing at ninth seed and are going to play against the Hawks. And if they were to beat the Hawks, they'll play against the 76ers or the Heat. And then if they beat the Heat, they have to play the first seed, the Boston Celtics. And I don't know if they're going to make it that far, but the Celtics have a little reputation for choking in the playoffs. So if they were to lose, I really wouldn't even be surprised. You know, Jason Tatum is pretty good, but I guess not good enough to not lose against AC teams. And gameplay wise, the Bulls mostly, I feel like sometimes all they do is hand the ball to DeMar and just make him, and just say, hit a shot, instead of actually trying to like run a play around him or run a play around Vooch. Most of the time, at the end of the game, the starters that don't have many points is like Alex Caruso. That's pretty much the main player I would say who doesn't really have points and has like over 30 minutes played in most games is Alex Caruso. I feel like he like is a good like playmaker, but the assist that he gets is only like 5 at most. So I feel like that's something to work on. That's something to like see of how you can like find some type of like a certain chemistry or like plays that can get all of the players involved. In times that DeMar is on like a shooting slump, so then DeMar is not just throwing up shots all day. Even though, yes, it is working because he's dropping 30, but it's only working for him, and the rest of the team is losing. In their last 10 games, they already played Atlanta, which has DeJounte Murray, and they already played the Celtics, which have Jason Tatum. So that's interesting, but they lost both of those games by, I think, like only 10. So I think like it's not too far, but they definitely have to win. You know, they definitely have to win in order to, or at least be hot during those times they play these teams. There are a lot of Bulls fans who aren't confident in the Bulls making it far in the play-in, and I kind of agree because it'll take a lot for them to really get far. And hopefully y'all enjoy. Tell me how far y'all think the Bulls will make it in the play-in.
Welcome to Boone Grove High School. I'm here with the class of 2025, and today we're going to be asking everyone what they'll be doing in 10 years.
In 10 years, I would like to hopefully be in the MLB, have a wife and kids, 2 kids to be exact, 1 boy, 1 girl. Project Otani for my boy, and great volleyball player for the girl.
In 10 years, I'm not in jail and rich.
In 10 years, I hope to have a job in sports marketing, and I hope that I will be married with 2 kids.
10 years, I hope to be a teacher or a principal in Massachusetts.
In 10 years,
I hope to be Sharank 0319.
Okay, in 10 years, I hope to be a teacher.
In 10 years, I will be rich with multiple husbands.
In 10 years, I hope to be an engineer.
In 10 years, I hope to be living in Scotland with my husband and a dog and hiking every day and reading books.
In 10 years, I'll be working for National Geographic.
Is it going? Yeah. Okay. In 10 years, I'll be living in Florida in a condo with Laura.
Years, I will be living in my mansion.
In 10 years, I want to be a construction manager.
In 10 years, I'm going to be a financial advisor.
In 10 years, I'll be the announcer for the Boston Red Sox.
In 10 years, I will be... I'll be 45 and have a, oh my gosh, I'll have a 15 and a 13-year-old. I'll need prayers. Okay, in 10 years, I hope that I'm a teacher or a principal.
I hope in 10 years I am a nurse at a big hospital.
Let's do something. Let's just go, like on a road trip or something.
Okay.
Come on, please. Remember when I was little and I explored like everything I could?
Yeah, I guess, but like we're gonna need a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I have a radio, a Polaroid picture, a copy of Hemingway's great works, a purple notebook explaining the situation to my parents, one granola bar, a camera, and a brick. But what do you say?
Wait, we'll need more than just that, but why would you ever need a brick?
For protection.
Sylvie, you know this won't last forever.